Welcome everybody, Jason Overly with Overly Equipment. Okay, so we had a problem with this cylinder hitting that side of the, I don't know if you can see that or not. I don't know if I have a light on there. There we go. With that light that is hitting that side, as you can see, I did a lot of grinding. And now our piston cylinder goes right up in there. So it may have been like that since I got it, and it didn't look like it was modified, but I bet that was the reason, because you don't want to put a side load. You don't want to put a side load on a piston, because what it's going to do is just wipe out your seals. So I'm betting that's what that was. The problem with it. So I'm not saying they should have slop in the pins, but by all means, they can't be tight either, because they're going to run into that problem. So yeah. So now we're golden. She's a beaut, Clark. She's a beaut. So let's see. There we go. We are in business now. It's going to be very exciting. Here, I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but this tractor has been, this loader has been leaking since the day I brought it home. And I would just work it and let it leak and work it and let it leak. But sooner or later, you just get tired of all that, and you know what I'm saying? It's time to finally fix it right and do what you're supposed to. And we're all busy, and I get that. Trust me, I get that a lot. I know what it is to be busy, and trust me, sometimes we do things that we shouldn't do correctly. And I know there's always people out there that say, "Yeah, you're gonna do it correct." And I try to do it correct, but there's times where I got to get stuff done, and we're all busy with work and certain things, and it's just one of those deals where, well, you'd like to do certain things correctly and buy the book and buy the factory OEM parts and but we're living in a real world here where stuff's expensive and nobody has time. So we've got to do what we got to do. So continue on. We're going to put all of our lines back on now. Got my 4 brand new lines ready to go. Hold on. So that one goes. I'm going to put that one on. That one goes there. So we got a problem with that. We'll put these top 2 in, get them out of the way. Again, I want to put this end in first. That's why I labeled everything, so I don't have any problems. They are labeled. And problem again is you can't not, here's the problem I was having. You cannot get a line wrench over the ferrules. So when I cut off the old ones, I cut it here so I get a socket on it. So now this time, these are newer, so hopefully I don't even have to worry about this for a long, long time, replacing these. And even if I do, they're going to be a lot easier to get off, by all means. So. It's funny how you got to tighten these up. They snug up, they're a lot easier, and I'm not killing nothing. So, send that back out of the way. Next thing is these lines get in the way. can do the offer here. So it's best to get them all out of the way the best you can. I have to admit, I'm not putting a wrench on the tightening things up. So that's B, back to B.
Sunny tomorrow, high 82. Mostly clear tomorrow night, low 56. Then on Friday, mostly sunny. Then increasing clouds. Slight chance.
And I like these swivel, or whatever you want to call these fittings. It makes life a lot easier, so to speak. They should put them on everything, but they cost more money. So I just put it all back to what it was. So, and they got these things in this place where you have to finagle them because of the other fitting. So this one's going in first because of the other fittings in the way. And I understand they got them in certain spots so they don't get pinched or caught, but sometimes they make it a bugger to do any maintenance on them, you know. Could be worse, could be a bobcat, or you're tearing half of the machine apart just to fix one little leak, and you wonder why. Again, not judging anybody. I don't care what anybody does, but you know, you got a leak on your skid steer, and you know, you got to tear it apart. Is the reward worth the risk factor of, you know, all the time you're going to have into it for another leak to pop up? So I get it. I see why things are like they are. The older I get, the less I'm judgmental on things, because it's like, well, I get it. So I get it. Sometimes it's better just to let somebody else do it. Sometimes it's like, well, it ain't leaking that bad, I'm going to deal with it, much like this loader. Because it all started a couple weeks ago, and I was pushing logs out of the woods. I had them in my yard, and drove them up there with this in the pickup, and I thought, well, I actually blew a hydraulic line here. It got covered, ruined my jacket, ruined my pants, everything. Just like, So a good pair of them Carhartt khaki colored pants. So I was like, oh, well, that sucks. So it's one of them deals where it's like, wow, well, let's tear this thing up, take this thing apart for the spring, get it over with, get it done with, because I got a lot of work to do with this tractor here. Well, not only do I, but my wife does as well. It's that time for planting cozies and spreading mulch and all that stuff. So it's that time of the year where this guy really earns its keep. So we got to get this thing. It's already May 2nd. I got to get this thing done so I can move on to other projects. So, bottom one's tight, that one's snug, B's done. A's done, and the easiest one's that last one, but we're going to thread him in there so we can get him started, because you don't want any problems. I always throw everything loose and then tighten everything up. You want to put him back in place. Bend him back up in there. And you don't want your metal lines rubbing, because they're metal, though they will wear a hole in them. That's what you see the two fittings I have there. The two flared fittings I had to put in there, because that's just how things are. So anyhow, let's see. think one grunt does it. I think that's a good torque settings, how much you can grunt. So some people's torque settings are different than other people's torque settings. So again, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I got the right line. They're labeled, but the one is a little marker went off already. So you got two different fittings, as you can see why. This one's got a swivel on the one end, so you tighten the one up and the other one. Put the swivel on and down the road you go. So I'm going to put all these lines on first, and then I'll start straightening out these metal lines best I can, because I got to put the wrench on it to tighten everything up. So I'm just doing it right now. Then we'll straighten them out, put them back, and get them out of the way, because this tractor does see brush work in the woods, so I don't want anything to get caught. This is a piece of mine. I know this ain't fun parts like restoring or whatever, like some of the other videos. But man, this is a lot more peace of mind knowing, again, it must be as you get older, because when you're young, you want something you like shiny and flashy and all that. But now anymore, I'm like, oh, I'm just happy that it works and I don't have no leaks. It's like, I guess the older you get, I mean, I guess your body's just saying, well, you're just happy it don't have any leaks. So, not saying I'm that old or anybody is. You're only as old as you feel. But again, one grunt on that and plenty of torque. Sometimes as you get older, I guess maybe you need 2 grunts. When you're young, I guess maybe a half a grunt. I'm not sure, depending on your torque settings. All depends on your torque settings, I reckon. So that one's all right. I like to bend them up out of the way so they're not rubbing, because they'll vibrate. And when they vibrate, which they do every little bit, that's all you need is to start wearing holes and stuff. If you guys, you know guys, know what I'm talking about. So. There we go. Nice. And I actually have this little tab here. Little tab pushing, you see there's little tabs on either side, hold them things into place. That should be good. I don't want them rubbing. I'd rather them be a little flared out, not hanging down too bad, but I don't want them vibrating. I don't want them vibrating and making a mess. I think that's it. It's time to add some oil, fire it up, and see how many leaks I got, what else I got to snug up, tighten up, and all that good stuff. So apparently I have some problems with my videos and content. I don't know what happened after we did that video, that video in the garage that you're watching right now. I did that like a month ago, and now all of a sudden I'm like, where's the rest of the the content for when I started it up and checked for leaks? And it's like, wow, it's not there. So here we are a month later, adding to the video that started. Whatever. Like, good thing I'm not in Hollywood and making money. Good Lord, I wouldn't make no money. Okay, so we do got the LGT 125 loader all buttoned up. So let's get it fired up, and then we'll go over the whole thing. Turn the fuel on. Okay, sorry about that, but we got all new cylinder lines, got all the 2 lines put on, got our cylinders rebuilt, no more leaks. In fact, I got 2 more lines. This one I got to replace, I already got made, and this one. And I also fixed the muffler while I was at it. Now, I had the original Nelson muffler on there, and you can't get the Nelson mufflers anymore. I've made a couple farm store mufflers. I make Cub Cadet mufflers work the best with the same fittings, and you can bolt up to the original flange. I don't have any on any of these tractors available. This one doesn't have it because of the loader, but the flange that would come off the head down to the cow, you can see part of this would actually fold up over there. Well, the Cub Cadet mufflers I sell, you could use it without hitting the PTO clutch on these tractors. You just have to get a street 90, which is 1 inch, a street 90 1 inch, and then another street 90 in closed nipples, and then you can put those Cub Cadet mufflers on there and actually use the one flange bolt on top of it and go down through that actually that one doesn't have it either, the flange. All it does, but it's all hoods all on it. I don't have any of those. I hope you guys know what I mean. It's like the header panel, whatever, and you could drill a hole and bolt that right up to it. I don't have anything laying around to show you, but anyhow, this little guy here, I had a video. If you look on the channel, there's a video of the 165 I had. I sold that, which I never did, but I sold it because I thought, oh, the case. I bought a case 646 to replace it, and I went back to sold that and found my Fords again, and I'm very happy that I got my 125 my Eaton 11 rear end pump back, so to speak. Because nothing wrong with the K646, because it was an actual loader tractor, and man, that thing would lift twice as much with this and dig twice as much. But I replaced the pumps, I rebuilt the control valves, the motors on the transmission itself, hydraulic motors, everything, banana clip plate, everything, and that thing would just lose, not the engine, it would just lose power. The hydraulics would just lose power after it got hot. And I did everything and spent I don't know how much money getting on Facebook and forums and ordering parts from the case guys out there in the Midwest, and I just found that tractor was not for me. I use the Eaton 11 hydros. Things are indestructible. They don't lose power. It's direct drive to the pump, and the hydraulics on this has a separate pump off of the it's got its own pump right there to run the loader. And this is a direct. I took the PTO clutch off. It's direct right to the pump. And I do have the tilt open hood that's all modified. It ain't correct, and it isn't pretty by any means. But again, this is functionality over cosmetics and making it look pretty, because I clear brush out with this. We're always using this machine. This is the most used machine on the property. at the business, everything. It's just we use it for literally everything. It gets scratched, it gets beat up, it gets dinged. I just cannot see making it too pretty. I have no problem painting it once it gets to a point where it needs painted, but I'm going to go right back into using it again. So that's why it's not quite up the standards of like the Mini 9600 and the other tractors in the video, which are all pretty and shiny and stuff. Even though I still use them, but this thing gets actually into stuff where I'm not afraid to scratch it and use it and beat it up if something happens to it. It's not an $800,000 paint job that I now ruined, so it makes it a lot better. But we're going to do some more how-to videos and all that good stuff. We're going to try to keep them coming. But getting back, I think it was $380 is what I said on the last video, the last part of this video, that what cost me to get these rebuilt. So I have a friend who is a hydraulic guy, and he makes lines and rebuilds cylinders for me. He's local, does a really good job at it. And let's just face it, stuff's expensive. Hydraulics are expensive, very. This was $380, but now I don't have no leaks. Could I kept using it? Yeah, but now without the leaks, you'll notice that it'll pick up more. It doesn't whine. The pump doesn't whine. There ain't no leaks. So the leaks are just an irritating thing, or an annoyance, I should say. They actually there's a purpose. Once you get your leaks solved, you'll find out your system is better. Your hydraulic system is better. It's tighter. You're not going to have to worry about debris getting in and out, because if there's a leak that gets out, then dirt can get in, that type of thing. So it's better to have all of that ready to go, and it's just better that way. So I'm glad this is done. This has been a long time coming. I've got 2 more lines I do have to replace and all that. So anyhow, if you like these videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the share button, all that good stuff. And we'll try to get you some more videos. We're doing videos of tractors. If you guys want to see something else of the property or whatever, we may have some other odds and end videos that we got some ideas for just to put on the channel, let alone just for tractors and stuff like that. And this is one of them, is our little pond, and I got to get to weed whacking and stuff and get in there and start dredging some stuff. Problem is I got fish in here, and I got bass and bluegill and a couple channel catfish and bullheads and everything else. So I'm looking forward to getting that done, so they have a little bit deeper swimming hole to swim in. But other than that, guys, appreciate you tuning in, appreciate you watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you.